We have covered this previously on TYT Sports with myself and Jayar Jackson. The greatest part about this, though, Robert Littal is here to weigh in from Black Sports Online. So we've seen a lot of comparisons between Johnny Manziel and Baker Mayfield. Here's a compilation of how the news is treating these two players respectively.
But I hear people saying, is he the next Johnny Manziel?
Baker Mayfield, is he going to be the next Johnny Manziel?
Oh, is he being too distracted?
No. That's part of the competition.
Is he a poor man's Manziel?
Shannon, is it fair to compare Mayfield to Manziel?
Absolutely. I could make the comparison as well because they're similar in size, even their appearance, the way they play the game. They are run-first type of a quarterback.
Johnny Manziel from Texas. Baker Mayfield from Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Both are undersized. Both had alcohol-related incidents off the field.
Correct.
Both, Johnny Manziel had the money sign. Yep. Baker Mayfield grabbed his crotch. Yep. Baker Mayfield also planted the OU in the middle of the bucket.
He did. Yep.
So is it a leap to not compare these two, Skip?
Nope, it's not a leap.
It's not a leap.
Not a leap. All right. As I was putting this together, I was laughing. They're saying it for the first time. They're dying laughing off camera. Jayar, why?
Well, I mean, it's similar. I like the size of the quarterback and style of play. You can go with those things, but we already know. Come on, we already know. They're the white quarterback who has a little too much flavor. They like to celebrate too much. They're not the humble quarterback who comes from this middle class to upper middle class background. Because that's what you want out of your quarterbacks,
to be humble and
he has
soft.
The stature of a 6'4" quarterback. Nothing shakes him. He doesn't respond to the fans. He doesn't go and look for cheerleaders and dance with them and stuff. No, he's acting a little bit too black. But there's only two white quarterbacks that are under 6 feet tall, around 6 feet tall, that act black. And you know what? We didn't like the first one. We don't like the second one either.
You know how every when like a few years ago, every white wide receiver was Wes Welker. Absolutely. Now it's everyone is Julian Edelman. It's lazy. It bothers me. If I was a white person, I'd be bothered by it. Like, hey, I don't just because I'm white doesn't mean I have to be compared to the other white drunk guy. Like,
there's lots of white drunk guys.
Like, if that's one time,
kind of a stereotype.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Cool. This is one thing that white people should actually feel a little like black people, because we get just compared to everything. You black. That somebody thought I was Hannibal Buress the other day. So it happens all the time.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so you sound like you sound like Hannibal Buress. So like, well, I don't have Hannibal Buress money, so move on.
Right, exactly.
But I don't think they're anything alike at all. I mean, besides literally being in the state of Texas.
Besides being quarterbacks and white.
They don't. I mean, there's a big difference between what I like to call college shenanigans and being in Vegas with cocaine. I mean, so when Shannon, who I like, says it's not that much, that's a big leap to me. That's a big leap to me. Baker Mayfield, like you said, is the arrogant and the chip on his shoulder is what makes him Baker Mayfield. Johnny Manziel has some deep, and he even mentioned himself, rooted issues. Yeah. Depression, bipolarism, drugs, alcohol. This was not someone that says, hey, I'm, just holding my crotch at the opposing team. Johnny Manziel stuff was much deeper than that. They really have nothing in common. And that's why I said, as a white person, I would say, oh, this is how black people feel when they take loosely things to try to connect them together because it's, quote unquote,
understand them.
Good TV.
Right.
Baker Mayfield is, as long as the Hollywood aspect doesn't take over, just on the field.
Well, he's going to go to Cleveland.
He's the best.
So I don't think there's going to be anything Hollywood.
I think he's the best quarterback in the draft. And I think if you
really,
I do. I really do. I've studied all of the quarterbacks. I think he's the best quarterback in the draft.
Okay.
Because I don't like to look at things like, well, this guy was horrible in college, but he's tall, so he's going to be better in the NBA. I mean, the NFL. Oh, he only completed 50% in college in the WAC or wherever they're at, and all of a sudden he's going to be great in the NFL. I don't believe in it. I believe in what I see. I saw him play against Georgia at the Rose Bowl.
Oh,
Georgia's a good defense, okay?
Yeah, they are.
He shredded them. And they have NFL guys on there. Now he
shredded them, but he was told to be humble after the game. Yeah.
Well, see, that's the thing.
He put a 45 on you.
That's like anybody, though. That's like LeVar Ball. It's like when you are outspoken like that, I give you a perfect example. I'll give you guys a perfect example. Remember Miami, and they had the chain?
The U?
The chew, right, the U. and they had to change
The turnover chain.
The turnover chain.
Yeah.
Everybody loved the turnover chain, right? People were copying it. You're like, oh yeah, it's a lot of swag and everything. What started happening as soon as Miami started losing?
They blame the chain. And they blame the swagger.
People started mocking the chain.
Where's the chain at?
Where's the chain at?
But there were other schools that replicated
that's
it
what I'm
as
saying.
well.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Everybody wants a Baker Mayfield. Like Georgia would love to have Baker Mayfield if he was on their team. But when you're that guy, if you're winning, everything's great. As soon as you lose, they're going to turn on you. That's my concern. That's my concern with Baker Mayfield. He goes to a team that's not very good.
Like Cleveland.
And people that are like, you know something, Baker Mayfield rubs me the wrong way. When he starts losing, now can you handle that adversity?
Because you know what? We teach kids to be good sports. And we say it's bad sportsmanship if you win and you rub it in their face, which, okay, I'll agree with. But you know what? We should also teach our kids, which I've been doing, and it hasn't even got to this point yet. My kid's only 6. But like, you know what? When someone beats you and then they rub it in your face, you know what you do? You just remember it. And then you beat them the next time.
Exactly.
Don't catch no feelings. Don't sit there and cry over someone what they said to you.
This is so similar to what we talked about, I think, yesterday or 2 days ago with like Yasiel Puig pimping a home run. Don't be mad about it. Just get him out the next time.
Do something.
Because the thing is, so that's why we're so ready to hate on people once the winners who are rubbing in your face, once they face some adversity, we can't wait to go, ha, what's up now? Because we can't wait to say it back to them. Even people who didn't even win. I've seen fans of a team that isn't even involved in 2 teams playing because they hate Baker Mayfield, right? And they're on whatever, they're in the conference and they watch them kick their ass early and they go, ha, what happened now? You face Georgia. You don't even like Georgia.
Right,
you just don't like him.
Right.
You know,
there were some comparisons that were brought up. Scott McLaughlin, a former Washington GM, said he reminds me of a shorter version of Brett Favre, which I thought was pretty interesting. Tough guy, can throw it, very confident, not afraid whatsoever. He's a battler. Bucky Brooks, who I highly recommend everybody reads, says, I know Mayfield has been compared to Russell Wilson and Drew Brees due to his size, athleticism, arm talent. Not quite convinced he's as explosive as Russell Wilson or as precise or detailed as Drew Brees. I believe the Heisman Trophy winner is more like Case Keenum. Now I know that comparison will draw some raised eyebrows from Mayfield supporters, which it has, but I believe their physical dimensions. Mayfield measured 6'3" 3/8", 216 pounds. Keenan measured 6 feet and a half, 208 pounds, yada, yada. Collegiate production, Mayfield, almost 12,300, 119 touchdowns, 21 interceptions. Keenum, 19,155 to 46. Playing style are very similar. That is a good, detailed scouting report from a former scout that I trust. Instead of
just throwing
no offense to us, no offense to Skip and Shannon and what have you. That is somebody who's been there before and can say, yeah, they both might be a little shorter. They both might be white. They both might be outspoken. They both might be from Texas. But that's where it ends. And I agree completely.
You know who I compare him to? Jeff Garcia. Former 49er quarterback.
Yeah, I could see it a little bit.
Jeff Garcia was very accurate, could move out of the pocket. He was in a good system with the West Coast system. He was first TO.
I don't remember who brought that up, but I've seen one other media member say that it was Jeff Garcia.
I'm trying to really think about it. And here's one last thing about Baker Mayfield. I think sometimes we start talking about the player and lose sight of certain things. I think it's not that some people dislike Baker Mayfield. Just want to make sure that when Baker Mayfield does something and somebody else does something, once again, that it's equal, that they're treated the same. Because there was a lot of, who was that? It was the guy from ESPN, former Buckeye, which I can't remember his name.
Former Minnesota Viking?
Kirk Herbstreit. Kirk Herbstreit had a situation where he wanted some kid to get kicked off the team because he gave the finger to a crowd. And then when Baker Mayfield did the stuff, he said, oh, he's just a young guy trying to go through life, and he's maturing, and he makes mistakes.
But you don't remember that as a Buckeye alum.
Well, no, I do. But I mean, but the kid that he said should get kicked out of school or kicked off the team tweeted him and said, Kurt, what's the difference? And you know what Kurt said? There is none. Like, he recognized it, but that's that subconscious. Yeah. That's not, see, a lot of the stuff is not consciously doing it. It's just your brain, you've been brainwashed your entire life. So Baker Mayfield, it's going to be interesting. But like I said, I think out of all the guys, him and Lamar Jackson are the best quarterbacks in the draft.
All right, we should revisit that.
Everyone's forget about Jackson.
Real quick.
I did too.
And they're saying that he should switch positions and he should play wide receiver.
That's a whole nother.
No, I agree. We'll save it for later. Here's the very last point. I think Robert hit the nail on the head in the very beginning by just saying it's lazy. I think that's also adequated, or rather is in correlation with just not watching the games. Personally, that's just how I believe. Saying in the draft, like everybody's like a Wes Welker or Julian Edelman. In the NBA, Giannis, who was he compared to? Just because he was black and lengthy? Kevin Durant. That was the automatic representation of him when he's more than that.
Porzingis?
Dirk.
Who? Was it Dirk?
Because he had to be a foreign tall guy.
He was a foreign tall guy that can shoot. Yeah. Dirk.
Any white guy is always going to be compared to a white guy.
He's way more mobile than Dirk.
Any black guy is always going to be compared to a black guy. Mainly what we're trying to say is break the barrier. Don't go along on the same accord as every other media member. All right,
Jeremy Lin?
Comment section below, subscribe to 2
Linfinity.